Alrighty, welcome to another Vintage Cube draft. We're in the Vintage Cube League right now, and we opened a Time Walk. You'll love to see it. Time Walk is the, I think, second best card to first pick. I think Soul Ring is still better, but it's actually close, and I actually think Time Walk's better than Black Lotus. The reason is, when you first pick Time Walk, you can draft cards like Spellseeker, Snapcaster Mage, Jace Vryn's Prodigy that just make it so much better. Also, it's great to begin with, but when you do assertive things with Time Walk, you can really just run your opponent over. And here, after first picking Time Walk, well, there's some good cards. There's Entomb, fantastic card, good for Reanimator. There's Gaia's Cradle, and I'm really higher on this than I used to be, in large part because of Retrofitter Foundry. And there's also Teferi Time Raveler. There's also Miscalculation, but I think that's a little bit weaker than the others. I think I'm just going to take Teferi. After first picking Time Walk, I just love taking something like Teferi, and that goes really well in the deck that wants to like recycle Time Walk as many times as possible. Yeah, I mean, I like Entomb, but I don't think Time Walk's even that good in Reanimator. It's such a low curve deck. Like, getting an extra land drop doesn't help, and getting an extra attack doesn't matter that much, because if you get a big creature into play with Reanimator, well, that's, a victory condition right there. Okay, so this pack has Echo of Eons, which I really like. Zernorb, which is actually a pretty high pick. I think the Zernorb combos I think are pretty good. Crucible and Ramunap Excavator with Fast Bond mainly. Also Balance. Also Urza Lord Protector, but I don't find that one to be great. This pack's actually not great for kind of what I was hoping to go, which is kind of like a blue-white control-ish deck. I could just take Echo of Eons because I just think it's generally a pretty powerful card. Really good with Lion's Eye Diamonds. Actually, Draw 7s and Time Walk are a great combo. There's also Sacred Foundry and Chain Lightning, but I think those are weak enough. I'll just take Echo of Eons. Oh, well, there's Dream Halls. All right, let's do that, because I think Dream Halls Echo is great. Dream Halls is really good with Time Walk. I mean, I guess everything's good with Time Walk in that sense. Teferi is actually surprisingly good with Dream Halls, because if you can play Dream Halls with Teferi in play, they can't even play anything that turn. And despite it being a meme that I'm like, well, maybe Dream Halls will wheel, I'm just going to take it over Frantic Search here. As much as I do like Frantic Search, I think that taking Dream Halls there is what I want to do. So now, I guess I will take Teferi, Hero of Dominaria, Blue-White Dream Halls. I haven't really drafted that, but, I think it could be viable. I'm just not passing up on much. Like, a Tropical Island is just not the end of the world. Okay, so this pack has a High Tide, a Displacer Kitten, a Tameo. Tameo is pretty nice with Time Walk. You get to play Tameo, get back Time Walk, and then untap and have a Planeswalker in play, which, though, the +1 on Tameo is a little dicey. Seems like it could actually work nicely here. I don't also have to go straight for combo, but, if I take Tameo, the odds that I wheel High Tide seem pretty decent. There's also Black-White Talisman, which with the 2 Teferis is appealing, but I think I'll just take Tameo here. Oh, Urza. I think Urza's amazing. And Atraxa. As much as I like Urza, you know what? We're going to take Atraxa here. Atraxa Dream Halls is actually just absurd. You combo off, you cast Dream Halls, discard any card basically to cast Atraxa because it's 4 colors. And then you just go off from there. Reanimate's still in the pack too. Well, as much as I don't like passing Urza, I think in this case it's fine. Not big into most of this. I guess I'll just take Botanical Sanctum because I do want to cast this Tameo at some point. And this pack, Sail into the West, perfect. It's a draw 7. You discard your hand and draw 7 cards. So, Bant draw 7s? Kind of into that. Let's see how this turns out. But also, Time Walk with 3 different Planeswalkers is pretty nice. Time Walk Planeswalkers is just a natural combo. Dream Halls, discarding something to cast Echo of Eons, then Echoes in your graveyard, which is really nice. Also, Dream Halls with a draw 7, you can usually close out the game. If you draw 7 cards and then can cast them for free, pretty good. So what this deck is missing right now is ways to get Dream Halls out a little faster. I don't have that. All right, so there's another draw 7 Memory Jar, but it's not one that works that well with Dream Halls because it's colorless. You can't cast it like that. There's also Mind's Desire, which actually works kind of not well with this setup. You go Dream Halls, discard a card, play Teferi, discard a card, Mind's Desire for 3. This deck's pretty chunky. I could also take Kinnan in case I pick up Basalt Monolith, but I think I'd rather just take Mind's Desire here. I don't know. It's close with Memory Jar. I think that they're both viable here. I don't like Jar as much in, like I said, in the Dream Halls configuration, because mana is going to be your big bottleneck with this kind of deck. Whereas Jar I like a lot more in the Artifact, Academy, Workshop deck that has just tons of mana lying around. So we're off to a pretty good start. Like I said, I haven't drafted like the Bant version of this, but I think both Teferis are pretty solid, especially with Time Walk. Could use a little acceleration, could use a little fixing. Right now we're pretty light on interaction. We just have Teferi and I guess Teferi as interaction. Another card this deck would really love to see is Fast Bond. I also think Fast Bond's a great combo card. Fast Bond plus draw 7s is just a natural combo. Fast Bond, land, next turn sail into the west, play 3 more lands, and all of a sudden you have 7 mana out, they have 2. It all just comes down to having more mana than your opponent. That's a lot of what you're trying to do. Oh, Zern Orb Wield. So we'll take that because we're already on the lookout for Fast Bond. And we haven't seen Crucible go by. I don't think we've even seen Romanop, so we'll keep those in mind. Oh, Frantic Search Wield. That's really lucky. I was wondering whether I should take Dream Halls or Frantic Search, and getting both out of that pack was a pretty nice gift. Okay. I don't think I'm going to play Suspicious Stowaway. Bazaar is actually, with enough draw 7s, this card's pretty good. When you have a ton of extra cards in hand, this just letting you dig for more is nice. I wouldn't assume I'm main decking it, though you can also discard Echo of Eons to it. Mind's Desire probably not playing either. Maybe an argument for playing Jar is that I'm not that likely to play Desire, but I think you're a little more likely to play Desire than Jar in this deck. This was some good wheels. Wheeling Zern Orb and Frantic Search was pretty crazy. Well, at least the Frantic Search. That card almost always goes. So this is a really good pack one. We got a busted card in Time Walk, our Mana Engine in Dream Halls, 2 different draw 7s, Echo and Sail into the West, and then Frantic Search to combine with Echo, plus 3 different Planeswalkers, and even a land, and Natroxa. So kind of like 3 draw 7s. Right now, I don't worry about this deck winning games once it has Dream Halls in play. What I am concerned with is how do you find Dream Halls? All right, well, Displacer Kitten is pretty nice with all these Planeswalkers. Tamiyo and Displacer Kitten can form a loop if you have Lotus Petal, Black Lotus, or Lion's Eye Diamond. You can just play let's say Lotus Petal. You play Lotus Petal with Displacer Kitten out, you blink, whatever, Tamiyo, sure. Then you sack Lotus Petal, you -3 Tamiyo to pick it back. 15th pick Urza? Come on. That's just disrespectful. Is no one playing blue somehow? Whatever, I'll still probably play Urza. Anyways, you get back Lotus Petal, play it, blink Tamiyo, sack it for mana. Now because Tamiyo's blinked, you can use it again, and you just rinse and repeat. Displacer Kitten with any Planeswalker can go pretty hard. A 0 mana artifact with Teferi and Displacer Kitten would just draws your whole deck. And if it's a Mox instead of a Zern Orb, you even get infinite mana out of the deal. So that's pretty nice. All right, well, this is shaping up to be a pretty good draft. Opening a Black Lotus after we open Time Walk, sure. I'll probably Wheel of Fortune. Probably not, but I might get Mox Opal back, though. I don't know how likely this deck is to play it. All right, well, we're slamming Black Lotus. All right, this deck, we don't have an excuse at this point. This deck has opened 2 of the top 3 cards and in the entire cube, and got a 15th pick Urza, wheeled Frantic Search. Like, we're doing pretty well for ourselves. All right, so this pack, I mean, I have that Urza now. At this point, Retrofitter Foundry is not an unreasonable take. There's also Windswept Teeth, which would be pretty nice at fixing white and green mana for our Splash Teferis. There's also Trinket Mage, which can go get Black Lotus or Zeren Orb. One of these is slightly better than the other. I mean, I really do like Retrofitter Urza, but I kind of feel like where this deck's at, I should just take Windswept Teeth. And you know what? There's a chance Retrofitter wheels. There's also Skull Clamp, which if Retrofitter wheels, that would be really nice, but I don't think I'm supposed to take Skull Clamp here. Let's just take Windswept Teeth. Okay, so now we've got Spell Seeker to go get Time Walk. That's pretty appealing. There's also Time Warp, but that's like basically a better version. There's also a Shieldred, which is a win condition with all your draw 7s. I don't know that we need to introduce another color here. Double black card nonetheless. Let's just take Spell Seeker. I think Spell Seeker is going to be great here, because we could just be white blue, or green blue splashing some Teferis. No reason to put a double black card in, because I think if this deck casts its draw 7s, it's going to do a pretty good job winning. The Zuran Orb also not looking too great here. I mean, right now, Displacer Kitten and Zuran Orb are probably the two cards I'm most likely to cut. Though, actually, I don't know. Maybe I won't cut Displacer Kitten. I've got 3 Planeswalkers. I guess you could blink Atraxa, though. Don't think you need too much help when you have Atraxa out. Blinking Urza is nice. I guess even blinking Spellseeker could do some good work. Okay. Oh, well, I'm probably just going to take the Brain Freeze now, because that's a nice win condition once you've done a bunch of nonsense. Don't mind passing up Basalt Monolith, Pentad Prism, Steam Vents. Yeah. Vendilion Click, any of those. Also, Spellseeker can go get Brain Freeze, which is nice. So, we've got a win condition. Also, if you need to, you could Brain Freeze yourself to mill Echo Vions. I think that's a pretty strong play as well. Basically, like, let's say they play 2 spells in their turn and you have no gas in your hand. End of their turn, you just Brain Freeze yourself for 9 and see if you can mill Echo here. Oh, it even works with Tamiyo. If you have a Tamiyo in hand or in play, then you get to Brain Freeze yourself and then -3 with Tamiyo. Oh, and that's a Lion's Eye Diamond. All right, we got both Lotuses. So Tamiyo is actually looking absurd, because now I have 2 different ways to get infinite mana with Tamiyo. I also have 2/3 of the Brain Freeze Lion's Eye Breach combo, with Black Lotus also being a part of that. And Lion's Eye Echo Vions is going to be nice. This deck is looking broken. Honestly, that's a reason that this deck doesn't need Shieldred. I feel like this deck can do busted stuff without having to put a double black card in the deck. We'll hide the Zuran Orb for now. Mind's Desire could be good. It's a win when you have the Tamiyo LED combo going, because at the last stop you can always -3 Tamiyo to get a different card. Also, just going like play a couple artifacts. Mind's Desire isn't bad. Even a Frantic Search. Like this deck's looking pretty good. Oh, there's Tolarian Academy? Okay, so that's actually kind of interesting. Do I want Tolarian Academy or Inspired Ultimatum? There's also Mishra's Workshop, but that's basically a worse Tolarian Academy in this deck, at least. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You know what? I think Inspired Ultimatum will come back, and even if it doesn't, I'll take the risk on Academy. Just mana generation engines are so powerful. Yes, I don't have a lot of artifacts yet, but I certainly could pick some up. And one of my problems with Inspired Ultimatum is I think this deck's going to win when Dream Halls hits the board. I'm not really worried about that. Like, I've got draw 7. Atraxa is effectively a draw 7. Tamiyo can often kind of play the same role. Given that, I don't think I need another card that optimizes just for Dream Halls being in play. I'm not saying I wouldn't play Inspired Ultimatum, but I would rather take Academy and Hope. Though, given that I got a 6-pick Academy this pack, I kind of wish I took Retrofitter over Windswept Heath, but you know what? I have a suspicion if I got a 15th pick Urza, Retrofitter Foundry might wheel. We'll see. Oh, and there's Time Spiral, the best draw 7. All right, over a Paradoxical Outcome, yeah, sure, and some lands. Time Spiral, untapping lands. Oh man, that just reminds me, we didn't wheel the High Tide. I actually would have loved High Tide in this deck. What a shame. Time Spiral with Dream Halls is beyond disgusting, because not only do you get the draw 7, you get to untap all your lands, so now you can definitely cast everything else. It's good when Academy. It's also just good if you just cast it. We're getting some draw 7s in, and the fact that I opened Black Lotus, didn't even go past Lion's Eye, means mana is less of a bottleneck here than it could be without those. I don't think I'm going to play Mindslaver here. I think of all these cards, actually Dark Ritual is the most likely to get played. I don't think it's like super likely, but we do have all the cards you want for a Yawgmoth's Will deck, so if I do end up getting a Yawgmoth's Will, then I could definitely see playing Dark Ritual, especially since my mana is not too problematic right now. Casting Atraxa, also realistic. Let's see. So that was the first 8 picks. Let's see what we table here, because I would not be surprised if that Retrofitter comes back. That wasn't first pick, though. That was like second pick. Honestly, we really just got everything we needed. Like, sure, I'll take more cards. This deck's not complete yet, but I can't... I mean, Underworld Breach is a card I'd certainly be interested in. Yawgmoth's Will, definitely. Past that... I mean, I guess more cheap mana artifacts would help. Wheel of Fortune did wheel. So did Magma Opus. I mean, I just take more draw sevens. Like, the draw sevens are so good in this deck. All right, I guess I got to pick up some lands now. You know what? This Mind's Desire is looking a little better. All right, Snap Wield. So did Metamorph. I think I'm more likely to snap here. I guess, are we not getting Retrofitter back? Is that the next pack? I think it might have been the second pack, though. Well, even if we don't, I don't mind where we're at. Obviously, the Tolarian Academy might not make the cut. Snap has been a cool addition, for sure. I think that without Academy tapping for multiple mana, I'm not that likely to be snapping. But I think it's been a cool card for the cube. I really wouldn't have minded High Tide in this pack, or in this deck. So Zerda combines with Basalt Monolith or Grim Monolith to get infinite mana. Not really there. I think I might take Burgi. I don't know how likely it is I play Burgi, but it is possible. The front side adds a red whenever you cast a spell, which is going to be a decent amount of mana. Then the back side, the Horn of Harnfell, the Horn of Bounty. With some draw sevens, you can play that, and then you just have access to your whole deck right there. Oh, wow. So Steam Vents Wield, so did Pentad Prism. I actually think Prism is going to be a little better for this deck because it fixes every color, is good with Urza and Academy. All right, no Basalt Monolith, though. I mean, with Urza, you can tap it for 3 mana. Like, you tap this for a mana, and then you also remove the 2 charge counters to do stuff, which is pretty cool. I don't think Birdie's making the cut right now. I'll play Wheel of Fortune as, like, my only red card, maybe. Really, just, I guess some lands would be helpful. Sure, I'll take Cabal Ritual because I'm not going to play Night's Whisper, but, again, if I get Yogg-Will, this deck's looking like a disgusting Yogg-Will deck. Displacer Kitten... Yeah, I guess the Tameo combo probably makes it worth it already. It's good with Urza, Tameo. It's good with Big Teferi. It's good with Little Teferi. It's not... Oh, the Ultimatum came back. Yeah, I mean, I'll take it. I don't think I'm going to play the Workshop anyway. So the Academy pick was kind of free, though. Right now, we're not playing Academy. It wouldn't be wild if we did. Can we open Power just once here? Let's see. This is shaping up to be a very good deck. I guess Snap's probably not making the cut. I mean, this is 22 playables with the 3 lands right now. Fast Bond would be one of the last cards left that I would like. I mean, besides obviously more power. More power to you. Breach, Fast Bond, Yawgmoth's Will. If I get Fast Bond, I'll then want Crucible or Ramanop, but I only want those if I get all of them. Mizzix's Mastery would actually not be bad with, it's good with Inspired Ultimatum, Time Spiral, Mind's Desire, any of those cards. More lands would also be decent. This deck's got a lot of playables. Maybe just an Ancestral Recall, you know? I really want to beef up this Spellseeker. I want it to have some good targets. Well, Mana Vault, I will take that. That's another fast way to get a Dream Halls into play. Narset looks good with all the draw sevens, but honestly, I don't care if they draw cards. They can draw some cards, I'll still just kill them on the same turn. They're Soul Ring. I'm going to have Black Lotus, Time Walk, and Soul Ring getting past the Soul Ring? Amazing. Sorry, Demonic Tutor. Okay. I haven't had these 3 cards in a deck before, but we'll see how this goes. You know what? I think the Dark Ritual and Cabal Ritual are not making the cut. I think Academy is back on the menu. And we're just going to be basically blue playing a couple cards of all the other colors except black. That seems fine to me. I mean, this is already 22 playables. We just need to pick up some lands and we're basically good to go. I guess technically if they have an Eldrazi, can't win with Brain Freeze, but there's a lot of ways to win other than that. Let's see, I can do 5 damage with this, and I can recycle it 3 times if I draw my whole deck. Yeah, that's 20 damage. All right. Wait, where's the busted card? I think here I just take Talisman, because it's a 2 mana play that accelerates me, also fixes 2 of my colors. Over Thirst, Helm Awakening might wheel. I actually don't hate Enlightened Tutor, because getting Dream Halls is really important. But I'm going to take the Talisman first. Enlightened Tutor almost always wheels. Alright, this pack has an Oath of Druids, which we could trim some of the creatures and try to play that, but I don't think we need to do that. There's Celestial Colony, but we're not really that into that. I might just take Reservoir. So Reservoir is nice as, like, a win condition with Tameo, the Tameo loop. If you play a lot of spells, it just kills them. But there's also Third Path Iconoclast, which looks pretty good in this deck as a way to make a bunch of tokens for Academy or Urza or both. And I think Aetherflux Reservoir is almost locked to wheel. Yeah, I actually think I will Iconoclast here. Oh, there's Underworld Breach. All right. This is a ridiculous deck. You know what? Normally I would take Vamp with all these combos, but that would be the 5th color, and I just took 2 red cards. Though, honestly, at this point, I could even look at... No, I guess cutting the Teferi's doesn't make that much sense, given I have a Windswept Teeth and a Talisman of Progress. But honestly, I think I'm just going to take Coalition Relic here. I feel like if I can cast my spells, I'm going to win so easily, and this fixes all my colors. So, yeah. I need to cut a couple cards. Honestly, do we cut like Displacer Kitten? That seems so weird. I guess I could probably cut Mind's Desire. I mean, I could play like... If I played this, it's 15 land right now. I mean, that's actually not that far off given I have Soul Ring, Mana Vault, Black Lotus. But still, let's see. I think Teferi, Hero of Dominaria is actually not looking that great. I mean, maybe at that point, Displacer Kitten gets a little bad also. There's also Inspired Ultimatum, which might not be strictly necessary here. I mean, this deck is just something else. I guess all I really want is some lands past this. I could take Kiki Jiki in case one of the twin combos wheels. Or I could just take Venser because it's just like a fine card. Don't think I'm going to play Fairy Mastermind, Splash Deluge. Hullbreaker Horror does also go infinite with 2 zeros or 1s in the case of the ones that tap for mana. But I don't think I'm that likely to want Hullbreaker Horror in my deck. I'll just take the Venser. I don't really need another win condition like taking Kiki or Hullbreaker. And so this is not playing. So this is 37. So only 1 new card. So I guess I know I'm not playing the Zernor Fastbond deck because I'm missing 2 pieces and there's only 1 pack left. I am pretty all in on Dream Halls, but I also have like a million draw 7s. I have 4 more draw 7s. So finding the Dream Halls doesn't seem too difficult. Surprisingly short on lands. Despite playing 4 colors, I feel like I haven't seen tons and tons of lands. All right. So Spec has a Blood Crypt, which is not a land that really helps. There's Emery, which I do have a lot of artifacts to replay. Also, it can mill for Echo Vians or Breach. There's also Skydiver, don't care about that. There's Chart of Course, but I think I'd rather just take Emery. Emery with the 2 Lotuses is pretty nice. All right, Venser's probably out. Emery Displacer Kitten, you can mill your whole deck, very quickly if you want. So this is 16 land currently. I mean, this looks good enough to me. I don't think I need Darker Cabal Ritual because, again, I didn't get the Yogwell. That would have kind of prompted me to play those. And then there's Big Teferi, Venser, Mind's Desire, Ultimatum. Yeah. I don't think I'm super into those. I don't mind the Iconoclast. It's also kind of a win condition with Time Walk. You play a bunch of spells and then cast Time Walk and then just attack them with a bunch of soldiers. But mainly basically, when you have Urza or Academy, and if you have both, they actually combine, every soldier taps for mana with Urza and then adds a mana with Academy. So it's like whenever you play a non-creature spell, put a Haste Llanowar Elf into play is pretty good because they work right away. Yeah, I think 16 land plus a bunch of mana artifacts is fine given all the draw 7 nonsenses. Frantic Search looking pretty good at untapping Academy 2. I think Kitten with the 2 Planeswalkers is good. I don't think I want Big Teferi. Yeah, I think it's probably fine to leave that out. Oh, Narset came back. Okay, well, there's also Mizzix's Mastery. I know I'm not getting Magma Opus. I think I'd rather have Narset here. This deck's got a ton of draw 7s, and Narset just is a kind of like powered up dig through time. Another good card to displace. Oh, Shelldog came back? All right, I'll take that. I don't think I want to play Wishclaw. It's just another color. Maybe I'll just play 15 lands. How bad could that be? And then, well, let's take a look at the mana also, because we've got blue and red cards, and then 2 green cards, 1 white card. We have Pentad Prism Talisman, Coalition Relic, Lotus, and then Windswept Heath, which is just a white-green land. Actually, I ended up not picking up any duels. I don't think I want Bazaar Baghdad either. Bazaar Baghdad is a lot better when you have Fast Bond or Exploration in your deck, because that, in this deck, missing the land drop to use Bazaar would be pretty costly, but in one of those decks it would not, when you have a lot of extra land drops to spare here. The Spellseeker also actually ended up kind of bad. Like, it just gets Time Walk or Brain Freeze, which is still enough to play, but not the most impressive. Yeah, actually I'm not hitting 15 lands as an idea here. This deck can turn 1 kill. Not even that hard. Underworld Breach, Brain Freeze, and either 0 mana artifact is usually going to be a turn 1 kill. Okay, so Mystic Forge, I don't have enough artifacts for that. I don't think Turnabout's good because my lands don't generate excess mana except for in the case of Academy. I think I might want Thirst. I don't think I'm going to use Helm here. Though I don't think I'm going to play Thirst either, so who knows. It just doesn't seem like it's necessary. Third Path Iconoclast also good with Dream Halls because this can discard to cast red or green spells, or red or blue spells. Don't think I'm oathing. I'll just take Exarch. Maybe I'll get a Kiki Jiki with 2 cards left in the pack or whatever. I don't even know if I'd play Exarch Kiki in this deck. I mean, maybe I should, but... And I think Spellseeker is still good enough. Yeah, it probably is. I would have liked to pick up another cheap artifact this go around, but I don't have any complaints for sure. I mean, I first picked Mana Vault and second picked Soul Ring. I'm still just amazed that I have Time Walk, Black Lotus, and Soul Ring. What a deck. I'm not really playing any of these cards, so sure. I guess I could put in Sphinx against Mono Red. Dream Halls out the Sphinx. That seems like it would be pretty nice. So with 15 land, I have kind of like 20 mana sources plus LED and Coalition Relic, which are on the slightly more expensive side. Yeah, that should be fine. So piles by color. 3 red cards, 1 white card. Oops, did I send a sail into the west in the Shadow Realm? All right. 1 white card. So I wonder if Windswept Heath Plains, is that enough? With, yeah, probably. That's 5 sources plus Lotus. And then for green, I'll want maybe 2 forests. And then red, like 3 mountains. Let's see, that's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then 5 islands is 8, 9. Yeah, that's not crazy. I might not be able to get away with 3 mountains and 2 forests, though. One thing that's a little awkward is, because this can only get white and green, I don't really want to have that many forests and plains in my deck, but I want Windswept Heath to still have things to fetch. So I think I'm probably going to play 2, or maybe 3. 1 plains and 2 forests, maybe. Because I do have 2 pretty good green cards, and I guess I could hardcast Atrox off Lotus or Relic or Prism. Yeah, that actually seems pretty reasonable. So if I had 2 forests, I'll have 4 green sources plus those 2. So 6 green sources plus Lion or Black Lotus. I wonder if I can get away with 2 mountains. That would be 2 red sources, 3, 4 red sources, 5. Let's see. 7, 1, 1, 1. Probably go 2, 2. So this is 11. So this is 5, 6, 7, 8 blue. Plus Talisman Prism is 9, 10. Plus Lotus is like 11. 3 red, 4 red, 5 red, 6 red. And then 2 green. Yeah. You know what? I think maybe 1 less red, 1 more blue. And I think 1 plains is fine. Okay. Is there anything I'd want to cut just to put another mountain in? Is the other question. I could cut. Cutting the Spellseeker seems not necessary. How good is Displacer Kitten? I have 3. I guess I have 3 Planeswalkers, and it goes infinite with two of them. Like any 0-drop with Teferi goes infinite, and Tamiya goes infinite with, well, I guess any 0-drop because I have two. Also, Soul Ring and Mana Vault go infinite with Teferi. Like they count. That's probably good enough. Emery's probably good enough. All right, I think this is good. Wouldn't have minded another land or two, but I really can't complain, I would say. I don't think I have any complaint equity with this deck. In fact, should I be playing Mind's Desire? Because this deck can just spit out 4 spells in the same turn. Probably not. I don't think I need to do that. And is Third Path Iconoclast good enough? I think so. The fact that it generates a lot of mana with both Urza and Academy is a pretty tempting reason to play it. All right, time for round 1. How good is this hand? No draw 7, no fast mana. I think I can mulligan. Seems like a crazy hand to mulligan, but this deck is just wild. All right, so now I'm going to keep this. What do I put on the bottom? I could put down Breach, but I have Breach Brain Freeze already, so I probably shouldn't do that. I guess Teferi is going to be the weakest of this particular group because it's a little easier to cast than Urza, or Urza rather a little easier. All right, well, I'll play Shelldock. Narset, Lion's Eye. Let's go do Narset because I want Lion's Eye to be in the deck still. Field of the Dead. Not a very scary card, but it might come with Strip Mine and Wasteland if they're playing like a land strategy. So I guess we'll see what this Faithless Looting turns up. My next turn, I'm probably just playing Mana Vault and passing. Certainly doesn't seem like it's worth it to tap Mana Vault to cast Spellseeker or Frantic Search. Or I can just draw Lotus next turn and I just have a turn 2 win. They discarded Cabal, Ritual, and Forest. Okay. Oh, there's Brain Freeze. Well, the funny thing is that makes it so the Spellseeker no longer has to go get Brain Freeze. So I could try to win here. It's a little loose. I could cast Frantic Search. I'll have 1 mana floating, untap my 2 lands, Storm Count 2, and then I could Brain Freeze, Storm Count 3. And basically, if Black Lotus is in my top 11 cards, I win. But I don't think I need to do that, especially since if they play too many spells, I can just Brain Freeze myself and look that way. Blooming Marsh. Okay. Flashing back, looting here. Yeah, all right. I'm probably just going to take my turn. I wouldn't mind drawing a blue source. They discarded 2 lands. Okay. Let's see what we got here. Not going to pay. Draw Time Spiral. I really don't like it, but I think I actually do Frantic Search here. The alternative is just to do nothing. It just doesn't seem great. Okay. Well, I can discard Spellseeker because there's no spells left to get. Do I discard Urza or Time Spiral? I don't want to discard any of the other cards. I think I discard Time Spiral here. Untap these 2 lands. This is where it'd be nice if the Windswept Teeth got blue. So I could cast Time Walk, and then I could cast Breach for 9. I guess I should shuffle first, regardless, because I want to shuffle LED back. Let's get a Forest. Yeah, I think I'm just going to cast... Oh, I can't cast Brain Freeze, sorry, because it'd be casting Breach. I think I just cast... Do I just cast the Time Walk? I have 27 cards. No, I'm going to Brain Freeze myself, because this way I can also maybe cast Narset next turn. All right, milled 6 land. Oh, and Black Lotus. Okay, there we go. Let's go Breach. Play Black Lotus, exiling 3 cards. Sack this for blue. Yeah, and just win. All right, that was a nice turn 3 win. It was looking a little dicey for a second there, but the Brain Freeze worked out. I don't even know what we're playing against, so I guess I'll just submit. And yeah, I mean, Brain Freeze and Underworld Breach is a powerful combination. That was a turn 3 win. All right, so we got a turn 3 win so far. I'm going to be disappointed if we don't get any turn 1s. Wow, mulliganing a Soul Ring Time Walk hand. But Morales' hand clearly doesn't do much. Hopefully our next hand also has Soul Ring and Time Walk. I would take it. Turn 1, if I had an island, turn 1 Soul Ring, turn 2. I guess the turn 2 is not even that good. This hand would need a couple different lands. Okay. I guess I just have to mulligan this hand as well. Hand doesn't do anything. Yeah, I'm going to keep this. I'm going to put Tamiyo and Breach back. I think on 5 I keep this. I can't actually cast anything, but I just need to draw a cheap artifact or a land in order to do so. Yeah, so now if I draw 0 next turn, it'd be pretty nice because I could play an Emery. But even as things currently stand, just going turn 2 land, Talisman, next turn Emery, and maybe Wheel of Fortune the turn after that. All right, bobbling it up. Let's see. And plus Lion's Eye. What is going on over there? I mean, it's looking like combo, but also with Lion's Eye Field of the Dead. All right, let's play Talisman. Pass the turn. I guess I can't even Emery plus Wheel next turn, so I guess we'll see what we draw. I'm also a little less inclined to Wheel. My opponent's already kind of dumped their hand here. Sylvan Library, okay. 2 cards left. Let's just take the turn here. Oh. Well, given that, let's cast Emery. So now the question is, do I want to crack Lion's Eye in response to this Wheel of Fortune? Yeah, I think I'll just get blue because I have Emery next turn to get it back, so it seems like this could lead me to be playing like an Urza this turn or something. And I haven't shuffled yet, so my Breach is still at the bottom. Oh, they have Ulamog now. Funny. Oh, wow. I'm actually really close to comboing off with Displacer Kitten. I think I just play Pentad Prism and then Teferi and bounce the Sylvan Library and then pass. And then next turn I have Displacer Kitten. I mean, I can set up Time Walk with Spellseeker, then Displacer Kitten. I also have Emery to get back Lion's Eye. So yeah, I should be able to win next turn. It'll be a turn 4 win. Not too bad. I just need to fade them killing me. And part of the reason I bounced Sylvan was letting them see 2 additional cards. Seems like it would be more likely for them to kill me based on that than bouncing Talisman and costing them 1 mana. So I think I'd rather let them have 1 extra mana, but deny them 2 looks at cards. Yeah, so next turn, I'll probably just go like Displacer Kitten, replay Lion's Eye Diamond to draw my deck with Teferi, and then win from there. I guess that's not very complicated. I saw the line. This turn I could have played Kitten, but I didn't have a 0 mana artifact to play afterwards. And they've got to either win the game this turn or like Mind Twist my hand, and I don't even know. They have a lot of things they kind of have to do if they want to win this game. Jessica's Will. Okay, that's a start. That's a 6 red. Well, let's see what they do with that 6 red, I guess. Their deck is, like I said, without the Field of the Dead, I would kind of get what's going on, but Field of the Dead, okay, never mind. I don't really know what's going on. That's a Worm Coil engine. All right. Let's win the game, I guess. It's even completely safe because Teferi makes it a guarantee. Okay. Replay Lion's Eye, Displacer Kitten, Teferi, yoink. Turn Lion's Eye, draw a card. Lion's Eye, Displacer Kitten, Teferi. I'll see how long it takes them to get bored of this here. Lion's Eye. Displacer Kitten to Fairy. I mean, I guess because they have Ulamog in their deck, they're like, well, I can't get Brain Freeze to death, but I don't think that's gonna save them here. I've got, basically I'm gonna find my third path Iconoclast, and then I'm gonna cast enough spells to make enough creatures. Then I'm gonna cast Time Walk as my plan. I could also Time Walk. No, I guess I can't. I can't return Time Walk. I can Time Walk a bunch of times though because of the draw 7s. I guess we can play our island. Sure, we'll play. No, actually, we don't need to play Soaring. We'll just do this. There's Dream Halls. Dream Halls could be good. I guess it could let us Atraxa here. Yeah, Storm Count is 8. Storm Count 8 does not seem relevant given they have Ulamog. How miserable is it that they have to wait on the Ulamog here? Because they're like, well, I've got Ulamog, so I can't get Brain Freeze, so I guess I can't concede. Meanwhile, all right, there's Urza. Oh, Urza's another way to get a ton of stuff. All right, let's cast Urza. Okay. Tap this. Soul Ring. Flicker Urza. Make a token. Tap these. Coalition Relic. Flicker Urza. Make a token. Tap LED for mana. Bounce LED. Play LED. Oh man, I'm gonna get to Frantic Search here. I mean, I can draw my whole deck anyway, but Frantic Search is pretty funny here. I have 9 cards left. All right. I mean, I even have a bunch of Time Twisters, so it's not even like they can like do anything about that. All right. Frantic Search. Discard those 2. Untap these 3. Third Path Iconoclast. Lotus. Displacer Kitten, Urza. I mean, how big are these things? Like 12 12s. Tap this for mana. Time Walk. Displacer Kitten to Fairy. Okay, Time Walk's resolved. Bounce the Worm Coil. Take my turn. I have 11 mana floating that I didn't use. And then I get to attack for, let's see, 7 of those. So that's 98 plus all my other stuff. All right, and I still have 6 cards in my deck. Though, again, I could have reshuffled pretty easily. All right, so that was a turn 4 kill because, we took an extra turn. So that's not bad. They had Oko, Faithless Looting, Swamps. Yeah, not sure what was going on with that. But take like 108 damage or something. Ba-boom. All right. Well, that was round 1. So we got a turn 3 kill and a turn 4 kill. Okay. I'm curious what the average turn this deck kills on. So let's see. 3, 4 so far. I'm gonna keep a notepad here because I am very curious. And can we get the average? How close to 3 can we get it? Because I don't think we're gonna have very many kills under 3. And we're certainly going to have some kills slower than 3, but this deck could technically kill on turn 1. All right, I'm on the draw. Oh, this hand's pretty good. Let's see. Turn 1, Island Mana Vault. Turn 2, if I draw Mountain, I'll probably just play the Iconoclast. Otherwise, I'll probably just cast Time Walk and then maybe into a Narset. All right, Arbor Elf. Oh, Pentad Prism. Definitely not bad. Pentad Prism actually sets up the Narset Time Spiral play pretty nicely because we're up to 7 mana. Oh, geez. Okay. We're on a clock then. More? All right. This is the start, huh? Okay. Well, in that case, let's see what we can do. I think I do fire off the Time Walk here. Or do I? You know what? I'm actually going to fire off the Pentad Prism. my opponent, the odds that I time walk and then are able to convert that into something that is pretty low. I don't think I'm going to win on my next turn. I'm not that close to it. So I guess I'll just let them have a turn with all their mana and see what they do. Hopefully it's not a pest infestation. 6 mana. It's almost worm coil. What are these people who just out here casting worm coils against me? All right. Let's take our turn. Land would be nice. There's a land. So I have 8 mana. So I could just cast Time Walk and Time Spiral. Can we do better? I could cast Narset and Time Walk. That's probably better. Yeah, so let's do that. So let's go Narset minus, missed, and Bind Academy. All right, let's cast Time Walk. Kind of a bummer using all the prism counters. Draw, and then now I would really not mind drawing a land here. That's why Academy would have been really good, but land. So the question is, do I Narset first? And I don't think so, because I want to have more of a shot of finding Time Walk. So let's cast Time Spiral. Untap our lands. They didn't really get much out of the spiral because of the Narset. Now I could displace our kitten, but I have nothing to follow it up with. So let's start with Narsetting here. Okay, let's get Black Lotus. Let's go displace our kitten, play Lotus, kitten the Mana Vault. Cast Talisman. Oh, they were done? Where are you going? I wasn't done yet. Oh, that was a turn 3 kill, by the way. I'm going to note that down because, again, this is on a Time Walk turn. They got to take 3 turns. Playing against green. Do I want Snap to slow them down a little bit? I think we're okay. I'm actually wondering if I even want this Iconoclast. Actually, you know what? I'm going to take out the Iconoclast for the Snap. Oh, too late. Too late. I guess I'll just have to turn 1 them. No, but do I want this hand? 5 land, Time Spiral, Time Walk. So what makes this hand good? Drawing any of my busted artifact mana makes it pretty good. Otherwise, it's like kind of bad. But Time Walk does hit me an extra land drop. I think I'll mulligan this hand. Yeah, I guess I'll keep. And then I could put a card on the bottom. It doesn't really matter. This is, I just get to go Lion's Eye Echo. So basically, I start the game as if I had a 7-card hand and they get to draw their cards again. But on the other hand, I don't mold a 5. So I think that that's fine. Echo. Okay. What do I want to do here? I guess I can't. Well, what can I do? If I play a land, I could exile LED. So here's what I could do. I could go land, Lotus, crack Lotus for red, play Lion's Eye, or play Breach, play Lion's Eye, replay Tamiyo, exiling land, and Lion's Eye. Oh, that sounds great. Okay, so let's go Botanical Sanctum, Black Lotus, sack this for red, play Breach, play Lion's Eye, crack this for blue, play Tamiyo, tapping for a green, and then exile these 3, leaving Black Lotus. Sure. And then +1 Tamiyo. I guess Brain Freeze wins me the game anyway. So I guess I'm going to name Wheel of Fortune. All right. Didn't hit Wheel of Fortune. I can play Lotus, but I can't do anything else. Yeah, I guess I'll just do that. Exiling Teferi and... Do I exile Dream Halls? Yeah, I think so. All right. And then pass the turn. All right, well, we tried to win on turn 1. Didn't quite get there. If I hit Wheel of Fortune or Brain Freeze, I would have won. And I would have gotten to play any one spell off of Tamiyo. But hopefully they don't kill my Lotus here. That'd be nice. Hopefully just play some Mana Dorks. Okay, Courser of Crewfix. Sure. So now, if I draw Mana Vault, interesting. If I plus this, if I name Brain Freeze, I don't win on the spot. I guess I'm not that close to Atroxing here, so let's just plus it. Let's name Wheel of Fortune again. Wheel of Fortune. I milled Brain Freeze, Time Walk, Urza. All right, so next turn I can Tamiyo here. Ooh, their top card's Fastmon. So Tamiyo, I could get back Underworld Breach with Tamiyo and then win off Brain Freeze that way. So I need them to not blow up my Black Lotus or my Tamiyo, I suppose. Okay. Tamiyo's getting attacked for 3, I guess. And then they're casting Delighted Halfling. And that's it. All right, I guess they have blue mana up, so they could technically counter me here, but I'm not that worried about it. Oh, that's not terrible. Crack this. I'll get a Plains, I guess. Return Breach. Sack this for red. Colorless. Breach. Brain Freeze myself. Paying a blue and a colorless. Exiling Heath. Urza. Narset, I guess. And then Brain Freeze for 6. And then boom. All right, so that was a turn 3 kill. Tried for the turn 1, failed. Let's see. So we're at 3-4-3-3 right now. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. We're averaging like 3 1/3 or something like that. A little more, 3 2/3 or whatever. Oh man. Yeah, this is like 3 1/3. Yeah, this is pretty good. All right. So if we can get just one turn 2 kill and the other, so if we can get a turn 2 and a turn 3, we'll average to straight up turn 3s. We'll see. Okay, I'll keep this. This hand is a turn 2 kill if I draw Lion's Eye or, no, I guess Lion's Eye doesn't actually work, but Black Lotus would. And even without that, it has some pretty good outs. I mean, Displacer Kitten plus Mana Vault is pretty nice. Any cheap spells good here. Beaumont Courier. Oh, playing against red. All right, so that makes Displacer Kitten a little less reliable. Like I'm less inclined to want to run out a Displacer Kitten here if I can't do anything with it. But we'll see what we draw. Third Path Iconoclast. Oh, that I will play. Because that, look, if they use a burn spell on that, that makes the Displacer Kitten a little safer. And it gives me another turn to draw into lands for Frantic Search here. I'm 1 mana short of... Oh, and there goes that. All right. Let's peel some lands off Goblin Guide. What'd we hit? Talisman of Progress. Okay. I think I will play the Talisman. I just don't want to play Displacer Kitten without being able to play a spell right away. And the Frantic Search is going to be really nice. If I draw a land, I can Frantic Search. And if I don't, well, hopefully it's a spell I can cast. All right. Land? Black Lotus. I like that one. All right. Hopefully they tap out for something. Scrapwork Mutt. Okay. Into land. All right, well, I'm still going to go for it here. So what I'm going to do is go Displacer Kitten, Black Lotus, Displacer the Mana Vault. If they have the removal spell, they'll use it now, is my assumption. They did not. All right, so this plus this plus this is Tamiyo. And I guess I Displacer the Talisman here. All right, -3 Tamiyo on Lotus. All right, Lotus, target the Tamiyo. I mean, if they don't have a removal spell, then I'm just going to keep doing this. All right, sack this for blue. Get back Lotus. Lotus. And so now I have Infinite Storm and Infinite Mana. So I could cast Sail into the West here, but I don't really want to do that yet because I want to make sure. Oh, here's what I can do. I can play this, target the Tamiyo, and I can get back the Iconoclast here. Play this, play that, Frantic Search, and then target the Tamiyo again. And then now I'm getting a dork every time. All right, they had enough. So what was I going to draw? I was going to draw Time Walk. All right, then I was just going to loop that. All right, that was a turn 4 win. Uh-oh. A lot of high stakes here. Are we going to get there on the last one? I think I can cut Iconoclast again and maybe just put in a snap just to slow them down a little bit. Okay, so we're gonna need a turn 1 kill. Ooh. All right. This isn't a turn 1 kill, but this actually has decent outs for a turn 2 kill with Dream Halls here. So, all right, Goblin Guide me. And I think this is actually really close. Let's just go Island, go discarding, I guess, a Mountain. It's fine. And here's actually, I don't really want Goblin Guide to hit land, I guess. Or rather, I guess it's better for it to hit land because it removes land from the top of my deck, but whatever. All right, let's see what they got. They're going to attack with the Guide. Displacer Kitten. If they tap out, this is a turn 2 win. All right, let's see what they do. Dragon's Rage Channeler. All right. I mean, I still am going to go for it, I guess. So we're going to go Dream Halls. Displacer Kitten, discarding. Wait, hold on. Tamiyo. Discarding Frantic, or Emery, I guess. It's at 5 loyalty, so I don't need to. Yeah, no, I guess I'll get back Black Lotus here. And Displacer Kitten, discarding Frantic Search. Lotus, target the Tamiyo. Okay, do you have a removal spell? I guess we'll find out. Add blue. Get back Lotus. Lotus. Displacer Kitten the Tamiyo. Alright. Storm count 6. Because I'm just going to Spellseeker Brain Freeze now. Alright. Flicker Tamiyo. Sack this for blue. Get back Lotus. Storm count 7. 9. Sack this for blue. Get back Lotus. 8. 9. All right. Well, now that's enough to Spellseeker. And Brain Freeze for lethal. I guess I might as well. Boom. They're done. Turn 2. All right, so what did we get? It says 13 or 8, 17, 19. 19 divided by 5 is 3.8 is the average turn kill. Pretty good. Pretty good. That was a deck. Like, I don't think that you can open better than getting Soul Ring, Lotus, and Time Walk, and then this deck, I think, lived up to that. I will say that. I mean, we managed to get an average kill turn of 3.8, and oh yeah, there was a lot in this deck. Well, it doesn't usually get as broken as this, but I hope you enjoyed kind of a journey into how broken Vintage Cube can be. And wow, this deck was certainly a poster child for that. Appreciate you hanging out and watching me get some gold fishing in. This deck was a lot of fun. We won't see the like anytime soon, but you know what? There's a lot of other fun decks to draft instead. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you next time.